live studio audience in Burlington, North Carolina. Brought to you by AMP Studios. Featuring the latest Alliance news and in-depth training. Now, let's hear it for your host, Stephen Davies and Adam Cant.
Hello, Alliance family.
What's crazy, I'm watching the monitor and I'm like, wait, I thought I was on the right side of the room. Because it's opposite. I was like, wait a second, L-E-F.
We are easily entertained. You are as well.
We're so glad to be hosting today. Andy, as you may know, is in Africa. And so he has trusted Adam and I with the privilege of hosting the TWC.
Sucks now.
We'll see how it works out.
That's right.
All right, so
Everyone makes mistakes.
everyone makes mistakes. Let's get started.
So, first thing we want to do is give away some stuff.
Hey.
So, I think the prizes are Andy's vehicles.
Yes.
You have the choice of the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, or one of the jets, or ticket to National Convention.
But the ticket to National Convention comes with 3 Paul Roberts hugs. So,
That's worth it right there.
yeah,
As we know, those are priceless.
those are priceless. So, Adam, would you close your eyes and I will shake the bin of things here.
Shake it up real good now. Shake and bake like a Polaroid picture.
All right. First winner of a ticket to National Convention is Megan Shedder.
Good answer, good answer.
Winner number 2. Oh, this one was
That one got worked on a little bit.
Cecily Isaac. And winner number 3 is Randy Hunt. Congratulations, Megan, Cecily, and Randy. I need a handheld.
Oh. Needs a hand to hold or needs a handheld?
Steven's going to say Michael Bolton again. So congratulations to the winners of the drawing, and you guys get a paid National Convention ticket.
Sweet, that's awesome.
Which is priceless in itself. So
Chris Hill will be getting in touch with you about that if you're one of the winners. So.
So, yeah. All right, guys. So we're in the middle of Summer Slam. I'm going off the top rope. So we're going to start with the rookies. Steven. All right. So rookie producers. We're gonna. So this is through July 19th.
All right.
Obviously, the contest itself will go through the end of July. So you still got a few more days. And we still got the rest of this week to get issue paid and everything else.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm starting to get a complex that they don't want to actually hear me talk today. Third mic's a charm. All right, so our top 33, if the contest ended today, which it does not, but if the contest ended today, these folks would be in the cash. So congratulations, Latasha Carr.
That's right.
Angel Garcia Carmona, Darren White, Chuck Betts, Austin Underwood, Amanda Clary, Tim Long, Paul Van Thoff, Jeffrey Turner, Tony Pierce, Mindy Walls, Jose Cuevas. You gotta love that name. Jose Cuevas, part of Olga Mathis's team. Carmen Bellard, Will Paris, Marcy Hicks, Ron Castor, Brittany DeRossi, Crystal Spooner, Brian Valise, Myung Choi. That's right. Did I say that right?
Nailed it.
Mia Stone, Evan Patzer. Hey, how about this? Now, Evan Patzer, he's shown up number 12 in the producer contest, and number 4, that would be for the recruiter contest. Mia's in both contests as well, if you're seeing those two numbers. So that's good stuff. Shelly Deneroff Thompson in our top 10 currently, $8,499 and above. Jessica Phillips, number 10. She is part of our agency. Go, Jess. Daniel Silva is number 9. Henry Borland, number 8. Brian Rojas, number 7. Number 6 is Jared Gonzalez. Number 5 is Richard Smith with over $14,000 issue paid. Anthony Diaz, number 4. James Bubba Skinner, part of Paul Roberts' team, number 3. Zach Wright, smoking $17,539. And there's only one number 1, and that would be Melissa Williams, part of Diane Lampy's team, $26,062. This is the rookie contest. These folks haven't been around that long. All right, and on the recruiter side, that was good. We have coming in number 33.
Good and terrible.
The money starts at 33, folks. Justin Leifer, George Spearman, Mike Welburn, Andres Mesa, Ann Latino, Tony Pierce, Coach Pierce, Marcy Hicks, Sean Wu, Robin Slatton, Miles Franks, part of the Davies team, Daniela Frederick, part of the Davies team, Caleb Duran, Andre Hawkins, Megan Shetter. Hey, Megan just won a ticket too.
That's right.
She's winning money and she's winning tickets. What'd Fitz say at the conference? The rich get richer. Joyce Graff, part of the Davies team. What's going on with that Davies team?
Blowing up like Mount Fuji.
Aaron Wright, Pat Barrington, Dee Henderson, Eric Cruz, Henry Borland, Richard Smith, Stephen Thompson out of Duluth, Carolyn Miller, and our top 10 for the recruiters. And guys, number 10 right now is just, it's one issue paid direct leg. So anybody can jump up there and get lots of cash. Okay, anybody can do it. So number 10 right now, Mia Stone. Number 9, Elizabeth Williams Jenkins. Number 8 is Beth Barnett. Lemuel Rodriguez Ramos is number 7. Tim Long, number 6. Nisha Jackson is in our top 5. Evan Patzer, part of the Davies team, number 4. Peter Orozco, number 3. Janice Spawn, number 2, and there's only one number 1 with 4 direct issue paid first legs out of California, also part of the Davies team, Brandon Beal. Kicking butt, taking names. Now, the reason the contest is called Summer Slam is because the rookies can come up and slam one of the veterans out of the contest. I wonder if that's happening. Steven?
If we're going to switch off, we got to do it true SummerSlam style. You're fading. You're fading. You're fading. Oh, all right. That was tag team.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Off the top rope. All right. So, anybody you see in yellow as we go through this is a rookie that has slammed a veteran. Yeah. So, let's start right now. Number 33, my buddy, Mr. Austin Heater. Marcus Richardson, number 32. Number 31, Hal Rosen. This is the producers. Number 30, James Turner. Rookie, Richard Smith.
He up in there.
Moved up in there. George Andershock, G-Shock. My buddy Glenn Lamb. Herman Roldan. Elena Orokova. Stanley Aldridge. Even if you don't know a name, if you say it with confidence. Yeah. Miles Gatos. Megan Aleman at number 22. 21. Oh, another rookie. Anthony Diaz moved up, taking veteran money. I like it. Matt Goodrich, Cindy Laganaya. There we go. I doubted. I hesitated. I should have. That's the problem. She's from South Florida. I know this. All right. David Lewis, Junior Korea, James Coleman. I'm going to see you tomorrow in Atlanta, James. Number 16. Number 15, Minerve Profil. Number 14, Glenda Graham. Number 13, Robert Wilson. Look it up.
Sarge.
You got 2 rookies moved up. You got Bubba. Way to go, Bubba. As soon as I saw you on stage, Bubba, I was like, that guy's going to be fun on trips. Like, if you need trip points, Bubba, I got you. Because you're going to be fun everywhere we go. After the second day of the trip, Holly might not let me hang out with you anymore, but the first day is going to be magic. Zach Wright, number 11. Number 10, Nikki Ebanks. Number 9, James Hill. Number 8, Michael Hartley, Big Mike. Number 7, Deb Ben. Number 6, Katrina Gustin. Number 5, Marty Doge.
That's it.
Number 4, and rookie, moved into the top 5, Melissa Williams. Way to go, Melissa. Adam Johnson, number 3. Number 2, Michelle Alamon. And number 1, Kimberly Spinelli Young, thus far through the 19th and the June SummerSlam contest for veterans. How cool is it to see the rookies moving up in there?
That's right.
How long is the learning curve of the Alliance? Apparently not much, right? Way to go. So proud of you rookies. All right, now let's look at the recruiting contest. All right, here we go. We're going to go to number 33. And we're going to start with Mr. Andy Riddle. Number 32, Kyle Cater. Number 31, Nathan Thomas. Rookie. Nisha Jackson moved up, top 30. Number 29, my buddy Austin Heater. Noel Leventovich, number 28. Number 27, Cuz. Number 26, the Hebrew Hammer himself.
Thank you very much.
Hammer time! Elizabeth Christopher, number 25. That's right. Number 24, Marty Doge. Number 23, my buddy Eduardo Soto. His team did 176,000 last month.
That is awesome.
Crazy. My buddy Alex Abian, number 22. Belle Krause, 21. That's right. Linda Goebel, number 20. Michael Hartley, look, placing on both sides. Big Mike, way to go. Number 19. Number 18, Fitzgerald. Number 7, James Hill. Number 16, the Prophet, Marvin Osuna. Number 5, Kim Young. Number 14, Joseph Dukes. Number 13, Michelle Alamon, placing both sides. Way to go, Michelle. Number 12, Michael Owens. Number 11, rookie, Evan Patzer. Way to go, buddy. Evan, I'm so proud of you, dude. You are killing this thing, man. All right, number 10, Jasmine Lightborn. Number 9, G. Chris Robinson. Number 8, Patrick Connors. Number 7, Dr. Phil A. Bear.
That's right.
Another rookie moved up in the top 7. Peter Orozco, way to go, Peter, moving right up in there. Look at that. Kelly Haney, number 5, another rookie, moving up.
Brand new agency manager also.
Brand new agency manager, Janice Spahn, way to go. Number 3, George Andershock. Number 2, Kimberly Spinelli Young. And there ain't but one number 1, and that one number 1 happens to be a rookie, my buddy from California, Mr. Brandon Beal. Him and Ashley, way to go. So fired up for you guys. Number 1, rookie, in all the lines.
That is
crazy?
That's called double dipping too, because he's going to win like five large in the rookie contest, then he'll win another 5 large in the veterans contest.
So if you're out there and you're thinking, yeah, but I'm newer, I can't it's number 1 in the whole contest is a rookie.
That's right.
Now's the time. And that's what we're going to talk a lot about today. Now is the time. What we want for you, using words, putting them together to form sentences.
Closed captions.
I would be a lot of work for a stenographer. You know, seriously. Here's what we want. Here's what Adam and I want for you. We want you to get the most out of family reunion. It was amazing. It was magical being a family reunion. It was 18 years I've been coming to these things, and I couldn't believe what happened. I mean, the whole time, it was amazing. And so what we want, we don't want that to run out for you. We don't want it to just be a weekend that you were at. We want it to be the start of a new way of being for you. All right. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Adam and I are going to take some time and talk about how do you get the most out of being at family reunion. So I'm going to turn it over to my buddy, Mr. Adam Katz, for the next little bit, and he's going to take you through some steps on how to get the most out of the weekend that we just had.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, we really want you to say that July 22nd, 2018 was the day that your life changed. And maybe it was July 19th, maybe it was July 20th, 21st. But that weekend, and so many people coming out of that conference, the hearts that I'm hearing, the emails and the text messages and the phone calls that we've had since then, it's amazing how many people, where it started to go from making sense in the head to making sense in the heart. And when you can get your head and your heart aligned on your goals and where you believe, where you know you can go in life, go with this business, all of a sudden doors start opening up. And that's what we had happen over the weekend. Marriages being saved, people making life-changing decisions about things that they've been wanting to make life-changing decisions about for a long time. And so that's the power of the Alliance. That's the power of what Andy Albright has put in place for us. And so we have basically 6 months till National Convention. So the question isn't, did you have a good time at family reunion? Everybody had a good time at family reunion. Everybody get a little banana pudding? Okay. Everybody got a little fried chicken? How about the food trucks? Was that not awesome? I'll be honest with you, I was a little jealous. I had the meal plan, so I had powerful association, but I did not have an opportunity to get a turkey leg. So, but Andy is just trying to do everything he can in our power to make this a more and more impactful business and a more impactful, life-changing business opportunity for you. And the weekend was that. But there are certain things you want to do, you should do, you need to do. You don't need to do anything. We live in America. The land of the free. You have the right to achieve your dreams. You have the right to pursue happiness. You have the right to pursue success. You have the right to free enterprise. You also have the right to sit back and do absolutely nothing. You just won't like those results. And so I like the opportunity that we have here. So just coming up with a few points of things. What can I do coming out of family reunion, heading into the rest of the year, coming out of the dog days of summer into the best selling time of the year? What are the things I can do to build my team, build my agency, build my business, build my vision? Number one thing, immediately apply what you've learned. Okay? If you have not gone home and started applying the information you got, if you let that feeling of excitement, that belief, if you didn't bring your Tupperware container and capture some of that air from the weekend and bring it with you so that when you get a no-show or you had a bad dial session or somebody you thought was going to be your next guy ends up deciding he ain't going to do it, you just open up the Tupperware container, take a little,
Not gonna do it.
I remember the vision. I remember Andy Albright. I remember Les Brown. I remember Paul Roberts. I remember Tim Goad. I remember. You need to have that. But the faster you apply what you've learned, the more successful you will be. Because the reality is this. When you got home, some of you guys had kids at home that weren't real fired up that you were gone for the weekend. And they gave the babysitter headaches. Could have been your mama, and your mama's like, you ain't going again. Or maybe it was your spouse. If you didn't bring your spouse. See, I always like to bring Beth with me to these conventions so that way when we come out of these things, we're on the same page emotionally, mentally, vision-wise. But some of you guys weren't able to bring your spouse, so you get home and, the toilet overflowed, the septic tank backed up, the dishwasher broke, the baby got a rash, and so one of you were home dealing with all that, and the other one's getting fired up, and you come home into the house all fired up, baby, we gonna be rich, and she just hands you the baby and says, here's your baby. So it's easy to lose track of what you learned. So it's important to go back and review your notes. What's the point of taking notes if you never actually look at them? How many times do we do that? We go to conferences, we're at the TWC, we're watching it, on the computer, and we're jotting down notes, and we never go back and actually look at them to review them. If you think you're going to memorize everything that happened over the weekend live, Andy taught me this a long time ago. You haven't heard a message, you haven't heard a recording, you haven't heard something until you've heard it 7 times. So hopefully you recorded some of the weekend. Hopefully, the TWCs, the activity calls, the product calls, those are all recorded so you can go back and listen to them over and over again. But you haven't heard something till you've heard it 7 times. So I got a couple quotes dealing with immediately apply what you've learned. Good habits are hard to form, but easy to live with. Bad habits are easy to form, but hard to live with. So you made decisions. You know, a lot of people, they went, they stood in line, they got their commitment bracelets, and they said, I'm going to do this. I'm going key leader. I'm going agency manager. I'm going to win Paris. I'm going to be SEAL team. I'm going to turn in business every week for the next 6 weeks. I'm going to write, you know, I'm going to write 5 applications a week for the rest of it. Whatever your goals are, whatever commitments. See, they were commitment bracelets. Whatever those commitments are, what habits are you forming to back them up? Because if you don't change anything, then nothing's going to change. The weekend doesn't matter, you know, doesn't change you unless you allow it to change you, and then you apply actions that will show that you changed it. That makes sense? So you want to start developing those good habits. They're harder to create. You know, I've read somewhere, you know, it takes 21 days to create a habit, and then I read somewhere else it's like, no, it's 6 months. You know, it's, you know, 21 days, somebody's pumping you up. you need to stay focused on it. You know, Andy's been talking a lot about writing out your goals every morning. You know, hopefully you're still doing that. You know, those are habits you want to create. Keep in your mind what you're trying to create. Everything is hard before it is easy. You know, anything worth doing is worth sucking at when you start. Okay? It's okay to not be great. It's not okay to stay that way. So you know, by applying the actions immediately, you will start getting better. And Andy talks about this all the time, 1% better. Everybody wants it to be leaps and bounds. Thank you.
Mighty fine, Mr. Pirouette,
your business generally is not going to grow by leaps and bounds. It's going to be incremental growth. It's going to be 1% better. Okay, so work on that. Everything's hard until it gets easy. Get the hard out of the way quicker. The faster you mess up, the faster you get better. What's the best way to double your results? Double your failure rates. Okay, if you double what you put in, you'll double the results you're getting out. The rewards of life come only to the walkers, not to the talkers. See, we all come out of conference, I'm going to conquer the world. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do, you know, all of a sudden we're all that FedEx guy from that old commercial. You know, and we're telling everyone what we're going to do. That's good. We hear you. We believe in you. You hear what I said? We believe in you. We don't believe you. Believe in you, don't believe you. You know how we'll believe you? When the walkie matches the talkie. Okay? So be a walker. All right. Second point. Get into counsel with your growing manager. Whoever you have access to. Okay? Well, I wish I could talk to Andy Albright more. Yeah, don't we all? Okay? Andy's kind of busy. He's got a pretty big organization. He's having to do some conservation work in Africa for the next couple weeks. You know, it's so you want to counsel with whatever highest level person you have access to. And whoever it is, okay? But there are a couple things about that. Quit working off of your own thought process. Your thought process is what has gotten you to where you are today. If you were fired up about where you are today, then you probably wouldn't be here today. Okay? Most of us here at the Alliance, we're looking to go next level. We're looking for an opportunity. We're looking for a shot. You know, this is a company of second chances. And for some people, third, fourth, fifth chances. Because we don't, you know, this is no judgment zone. We good with it. Wherever you are, bloom where you're planted, right? But eventually you need to stop listening to the people you've been listening to the whole time and start listening to the people who are actually where in life you want to be. And they have the roadmap to get you there. Okay? I love Les Brown, but Les Brown doesn't sell life insurance. Okay? I love Andy Albright because Andy Albright has done and is continuing to do what we're doing. Okay? So I will take Les Brown, I'll take notes from Les Brown, I will take coaching from, you know, I'll get my mind right, but then I'm going to duplicate Andy Albright. Okay, because that's where I want to be. So get into counsel. So what does that mean?
Explain it.
Okay, that means stop listening to yourself. Okay, Stephen Furtick wrote a book, Crash the Chatterbox. And what he talks about is quit listening to the voices in your head. You need to stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. Okay, but who are you getting advice from? I don't get advice from my wife, Beth. She is my best friend. She is my soulmate. She has been my partner for 27 years. She is an unbelievable woman. She is an unbelievable wife. She is an unbelievable mother. But she has the same checking account I got. And if she knew any more about money, finances, and business, then she'd have a better checking account than the one I got. Okay? So I don't take advice from her. No one delivers a great performance while lost in negative self-evaluation. Okay? So if you're counseling yourself, you generally only focus on the things that are messing you up. All you talk about are the things you're falling short of. You know, that's where this social media stuff can become so dangerous, because all you ever do is compare your backstage, all your hidden, deep, dark secrets that you don't want anybody to know, and you compare them to everybody's front page.
That's right.
You know, and of course you don't measure up. But guess what? The person whose picture you're watching, the Insta book, and the Face Me and all of that stuff.
It's MySpace.
Their lives don't measure up to their screens either. They just showing you what they want to show you, and I promise you it's not who they are. It's not their life they're living. So quit comparing yourself to that. Get out of that negative self-evaluation. Find somebody who can breathe life into you. Find somebody who can show you the map, which, by the way, we have a visual of. Show you how to do it, and speak into you positive affirmation that you can be successful at the Alliance. You have everything you need inside of you. You just got to figure out a way to let it out of you. Because God is no respecter of person. And if Stephen Davies and Adam Katz can have success with the Alliance, then so can you. Because I mean, Beth and I were a perfect marriage, but Stephen, my God, you talk about a hot mess. This is why he wanted me to go first, so he can correct everything. All right,
Strategery.
So 5 crucial ingredients when you're dealing with a mentor, when you're dealing with somebody who's coaching you. Number 1 is there needs to be understanding. Okay, how do you understand somebody? You listen. You really got to hear people. You got to hear their heart. You got to hear where they came from. Don't be so all fired up and so quick to want to share your story, or to want to correct something they're doing wrong, or to not slow down and listen. Because it's very hard to help a person get where they want to get if you don't know where they are to start with. You know, when you put in an address for Google, the first thing Google does is figure out where you are right now and start giving you directions from where you are. And so how are you helping people navigate their lives, navigate their business, if you don't know where they presently are? So you got to get that understanding. Number 2 is intent or motive. What is your motive in dealing with this person? You know, you have to build that relationship of trust with the people you're mentoring, and you need to build that relationship of trust with the person you're being mentored by. That makes sense? They have to know what your motives and intentions are as well. There needs to be transparency there. Number 3 is ability. Okay? You know, Andy says this, your number 1 job is to be a fruit inspector. A fruit inspector. Okay? A rotten tree will produce rotten fruit. A good tree will produce good fruit. You want to get knowledge and wisdom and understanding from a tree that is producing good stuff. Okay? So you look, you know, one of the ways you can do that is you could look at the levels chart. Okay? And I love how Andy has color-coded it. You know, red light. Okay? Quit. Why are you talking to them about how to get agency manager and EVP? Okay, now here's part of the dangerous part, and some of you probably ran against this over the weekend, and you got to be careful of this. They have the most to say about how to do it, because they've been reading the books, and they've been listening to the seminars, and don't worry about the application of it, they just know, okay? Yellow is proceed with caution, and then green is go for it, okay? Well, my upline is in yellow. Well, then you proceed with caution, but listen. Okay, they are still further along than you are. That makes sense? So number 4 is character. The way you build trust is you do what you say you're going to do the best of your ability. Everybody messes up, everybody makes a mistake. But are we doing the best we can? Okay, so that's the number 1 way to show your true character is to do the right thing at the right time for the right reasons. Okay, and then number 5 is track record, and that's kind of that fruit on the tree thing. Okay, what is their track record of success? Are you the only person they've hired? Okay, that is not much of a track record. All right, number 3 on my 5 points. Am I confusing everybody with the different numberings? I used to be a school teacher. Number 3, focus on your schedule. Focus on your schedule. You're all fired up. You're all dressed up with nowhere to go. You're all fired up and nowhere to place that energy, that emotion, that positive mojo. Okay? You gotta now focus on your schedule of, all right, how am I going to take what I learned at conference and apply it to my business? When am I going to be dialing? When am I going to be recruiting? When am I going to be coaching my people? That's the building part. When am I running appointments? When am I listening to the calls? When am I listening to audio in my car? When am I reading? When am I doing those things? Okay? So all of that is important. If you do nothing, nothing can go wrong. That's the good news. But while inaction cannot fail, it cannot succeed either.
That's right.
Okay? So you need a schedule of when you're going to do stuff so that you can start falling forward.
That's right.
Failing forward. Okay? 2 most powerful principles for success. First, get going. Second, keep going. Okay, and that's again where your schedule will help you. If you know what you're supposed to be doing, I love Andy works so diligently off of a schedule, because it's just whatever happens to be on his schedule next, that's what he's going to do. He doesn't have to think about it. When he thinks about it is when he puts his schedule together. And he maximizes his efficiency that way. But then as the day is rolling, he just looks at his schedule, that this is what's next, this is what I need to do. And it maximizes efficiency, and it minimizes all of those times where you're just twiddling your thumbs. There's 168 hours in a week. Here's the good news. You got the same 168 hours as Andy Albright. He just uses his better. But the good news about that, Logan, is this. You can start using your 168 hours better and start becoming more and more closer to where the leadership of the alliance is. Okay? And so if you can eliminate the piddling, and the best way to eliminate the piddling is to know what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it. Okay. So part of creating that schedule is trying to figure out exactly what it is you're trying to accomplish. Okay, I read this quote. I like this a lot. This comes out of The Power of Other. If at some point each day I sit and think about what I'm trying to pull off and don't get a total panic attack, then I know I'm not stretching myself and doing a hard enough deal. Brian Tracy says this: you should have a 50-50 shot at your goals coming true. Okay, if it's something, if it's a goal that isn't going to stretch you, then it's not a worthy goal. Okay, so when putting your schedule together, you need to start with the end in mind, which is what are you trying to accomplish, and then reverse engineer it back to what are the activities necessary to do that. Life is not a box of chocolates. It's more like a jar of jalapenos. What we do today might burn our butts tomorrow.
Four slide.
So make sure you're scheduling what you should be doing today. All right, number 4, promote the next event. What's the next event? The next big event we have is National Convention. I love what Andy did. I hate that I'm not going to be there with all my buddies, with all of my family. But I love the fact that we have the opportunity to double the company.
That's right.
You know, a fish will only grow as large as the container, the pond that it is in. And Andy has doubled the size of our pond by cutting the team in half. So half of the agency managers are going to be July 24th through the 20th, July. Yep, just starts today. You guys are missing it. Hurry up. January 24th through the 27th will be half of the agency managers and their teams coming here. And then the next weekend, which will be January 31st through, I believe, February 3rd. Oh, thank you. Billy is right on top of everything. And, you know, just check Upline in terms of which manager, which team you're supposed to be plugged in with, and register for that. But I'm big on do it now. Andy's big on now and ret now. And here's a list of the different managers. Beth and I will be at the one on the 24th through the 27th with Stephen and Holly Davies, among others. So they're keeping us. And, you know, Andy says now or rat now. Okay, so now is the best time to get registered for National Convention. Okay, and if now is not good, convenient for you, then do it right now. Okay, and create some urgency about it. Because here's what I know: if you put it on your calendar, you're more likely to think about going. If you get on a payment plan for your ticket, you're more likely to go. If you start looking at flights, if you live, obviously, you know, benefit of us right here, we don't have to look at flights. We live within a couple hours drive of Burlington. But for those of you who live across the country, you know, go ahead and plan ahead. Don't be shocked that January 24th is coming next year. You know, it's like I love it when agents are like, oh my gosh, Christmas is here. It's already been scheduled. Don't be surprised when it sneaks up on you again. Okay? By the way, that also marks towards the end of the Paris trip qualification, so don't let Christmas sneak up on you. All right. So promote. Andy says this: the best businesses, the biggest businesses will be led by the people who are the best edifiers and the best promoters. Get good at promoting National Convention. How many people can you bring to the next event? The best indicator of your business, everybody thinks the best indicator of your business is volume. Volume is actually the worst indicator of your business because volume comes and goes. You know, that's an ebb and flow. Somebody had a great week, congratulations, your volume's up. You know, they broke their toenail off and they didn't run business this week, well, then your volume crashes. Okay, it's not predictable. You got to have a Band-Aid on that thing and everything. You limping around. Nobody wants to limp into a house. Although I had this one guy one time, he had a cochlear implant put on his head and put in his ear so he could hear, and he had a big bandage. I mean, it just looked like he came straight out of the American Revolution. You know, just a big bandage. The man did not miss a close. After it was healed, I said, Bo, keep the bandage on. Yeah. Nobody's going to tell you no. So, anyway, I digress. So volume is not the best indicator of your business. The best indicator of your business is the number of people you bring to the next big event. And so you want to be more than doubling your numbers from event to event. Okay? And if it was just you by yourself, well, then bring your spouse, you just doubled your numbers. Now, I'd encourage you to be a little more aggressive than that, but if nothing else, do that. Okay? You're either growing or you're dying. It's like a tomato on a vine. It's not ripe very long. It's either growing or it's dying, okay? A person with a clear purpose will make progress on even the roughest road. A person with no purpose will make no progress on even the smoothest road. One of the biggest challenges that a lot of times we have with agents, especially new agents when they get started with us, is they've been beaten down so bad in life, they can't get a vision. They're afraid to dream. They're afraid to announce any goals. They're afraid to go after it again. But when you get that right, when you get that vision clear in your eyes, when you can seize it, so that way you can seize it, when it's in your heart, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what the road ahead is because you're just so focused. Here's how Andy says it. Dog in the hunt ain't got no fleas. What does that mean? It means they're busy. They looking for the next thing. They ain't worried about what's behind them. They ain't worried about what's nipping at them. Your associations will determine your assimilations. I want to be like Stephen Davies. Well, then associate with Stephen Davies. Well, I don't know his number. Well, he's going to be in Atlanta on Thursday. That'd be tomorrow. He's here today. There's a great place, NAAHotspots.com. You know Stephen Davies' schedule. You know Paul Roberts' schedule. You know Mike and Noel Leventovich's schedule. NAAHotspots.com. You want to be like these people? Start associating with these people. I remember one of the things that James and Jane did way back when. They went to a meeting in Maryland, and then they found out Andy was going to be in Chicago, was it the next day? Something like that. They got in their car and drove from Baltimore to Chicago and sat on the front row, and Andy was like, didn't I see you? Is it any wonder James and Jane have one of the biggest businesses in the Alliance? They value the association.
Yeah, they do.
Solomon said this, as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Now, I don't know what countenance means, but it seems like if it's in the Bible, it must be important. When you're at events like National Convention, that's where you will get molded. That's where you will get sharpened by people who are already sharper than you. You must get involved. Being at the events is getting involved. You must get involved to have an impact. No one is impressed with the one-loss record of a referee. I'm just, when I start making money, then I'll start going to those events.
Nope. No, sir.
It seems like everybody who's making money goes to those events. Well, it's easy for Brant Swindell to go to the event. He just won $40,000 cash. The reason Brant Swindell won $40,000 cash is because he went to the events.
That's right.
It's no confusion. Go first, win after. All right, last one is this. Number 5, double down on the 8 steps. Double down on the 8 steps. Andy has put together a very simple system. Simple doesn't mean easy. Simple means not complicated. Easy means there's no effort involved. This is not easy. It appears easy until you have to make phone calls and you have to drive to the people's houses and you have to go into some of those houses. And then you hire an agent and it's like, my goodness, there is not enough. No, anyway. You must learn patience. Patience, Daniel-san. You know, it appears very easy. But it's not easy. Easy means there's no work involved. There's no effort involved. This is going to be harder than you think it is. It's going to take longer than you think it's going to. It's probably going to require more emotional time and monetary investment than you think it will. But here's the other thing I promise you. It's going to be better than you even think it will be. The lifestyle that we live is just unbelievable. It's hard to believe. I love how Stephen always, or doesn't always, but I love when Stephen says one of his biggest fears is that he's gonna wake up one day and the people whose lives he and Holly are living are gonna be at the door saying, "What are you doing in my life?" and I love that because that's so true. We just feel like we're living somebody else's life because who knew life could be this good? Who knew we could take the trips we take? That we get to ride on Andy's private jet, and that we get to have the lifestyle that we have, the opportunities we can give our kids, things like that. Who knew? Well, Andy Albright knew, and we were just silly enough to believe him. And I would encourage you to be silly enough to believe him too. Okay, so double down on the 8 steps. There are 8 simple things, and I'm not going to go through them. He wrote a book that makes it very simple for you to do them, but it's a guaranteed 6-figure income. If you master. Now, you cannot just read the 8 steps and say, well, you said I'd make $100,000. You have to master the 8 steps. T. Harv Eker said this, every master was once a disaster. Okay? So you will probably be a disaster when you start trying to do the 8 steps. But if you keep doing it, you will eventually become a master of them. And they're not complicated things to do. It's like read. Self-develop, personal development. Listen to audio. Why is that so hard? Because I like my music. I know I like my music too. But it's one of the 8 steps. Figure out a time you can listen to some podcasts, things like that. The 8 steps is your way to prepare for success. It's the blinking light that says, hey, here's what's coming up. Get ready. John Wooden said this. He said, when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. You got to prepare ahead of time. You got to prepare ahead of time. Now is your time to be in preparation. If your business isn't where you want it to be, well, get prepared so you can handle it when it does get to where you want it to be. If your business is already smoking, well, you better get prepared for the next wave. Because this thing is not all smooth sailing all the time. You gotta get to a point where you can handle the waves of what's coming at you. You cannot get better if it's not you who has to get better. The reading, the audio, the attend all meetings is all about you getting better. It's all about me becoming the best version of myself that I can be. And if I don't ever work on me, then how is my business ever going to get better? So that's a big thing. Understand with the 8 steps, it's a daily process. Leaders don't develop in a day. They develop daily. So here's what I'm doing. Coming out of family reunion, heading into national convention in the next 6 months, seeing how much I can do. What am I able to do over the next 6 months as we go to it? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trade affirmation for accomplishment. I'm going to trade security for significance. I'm going to trade financial gain for future potential. I'm going to trade immediate pleasure for personal growth. I'm going to trade exploration for focus. I'm going to trade quantity of life for quality of life. I'm going to trade acceptable for excellent. I'm going to trade addition for multiplication, and I'm going to trade the first half for the second half. How about you? Stephen and Holly Davies have become, Beth and I, 2 of our closest, dearest friends. And the funny thing is we only see each other like outside the country most of the time. But getting to know Stephen's heart, his vision, how much he cares about people, how much he cares about his team, how much he cares about Andy's team. It's just been an honor to call him a friend, and it is an honor to share the TWC with him. Bring him up, Mr. Stephen Davies.
Thank you.
That's right.
Hi. I always like it when the speaker, like before you, doesn't end on a high note. You know, like, yeah, I love people I speak with, but part of me always goes, oh, take a dive right here. Oh, mispronounce something. Lose your place in your notes. Say something that makes the audience feel weird. Set me up for victory here. No such luck today. That was awesome, man. All right, so how do you keep getting the most out of it? Adam gave you a ton of stuff. I'm just going to try and add a couple of things to it. The first thing we'll talk about is eliminate distractions. Here's a fundamental truth. You cannot make any change without making a change.
All right.
That's deep. Yes, thank you. I just took the same words and used them again. Good job, yeah. Well, you got to remember, I went to a small high school in the mountains, so I'm used to playing to an easy-to-please crowd. No offense, mountain people. When you get this 3 to 5 years from now, I will apologize. I remember when my parents moved me from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Sylva, North Carolina. I went to high school. We opened the town did not have a super Walmart. They got a super Walmart. In the grand opening, the day that they grand opened the Walmart, they canceled school for the day. Yeah. It was like the president was coming to town. It was, and everybody's so fired up. I heard they're going to have a McDonald's in there. I'm like, I heard they're gonna sell tires. You can get your hair cut in there too. And I was like, guys, if this is doing it for you, you would love Fort Lauderdale. It would just blow your mind. But you can't change anything unless you change something. You can't do what you want to do coming out of conference. Because we come out of conference, you know, that's one of the things I love about it. I love seeing new people at conference, especially on the last day, when they're all like, their eyes are big and they're seeing like, I could do stuff like they never thought possible, right? Because they see people like me and Adam and they go, these are regular people and look, you know what I'm saying? So they're starting to think they can. So I love the look in their eyes and they're all excited. And I just want to go, but you're going to have to give up some stuff. You can't do something else carrying everything you're currently carrying. You just can't. You just can't. And so what qualifies under distractions? There's lots of things that qualify under distractions. I'll give you a few. Other pursuits. You can't be great at more than one thing. I'm sorry. You know, it's funny. I'll talk to some of these guys that they're looking at the alliance because they're already in insurance and they're broke, right? And they're like, well, now am I limited to just selling life products with y'all? I'm like, yeah. And like, well, right now I sell property and casualty and volcano insurance and typhoon insurance. You can only write that on the West Coast. It's just like, come on. But they're broke. It's just spread all over everything. And obviously that's not a problem with those of us that are core, because we're core. We get it. We get the power focus. But new people, if you're brand new to the Alliance and you got all the, you're not going to be able to do it. I'm telling you. It's not. Name a multi-millionaire handyman. I'll give you $10,000 if you can bring me a multi-millionaire handyman. Yeah. Sure wish I knew somebody. The funny part is, like, 100%, I wasn't sure if I thought that in my head, because I have a voice I use in my head that sounds a lot like that. I was like, did I think that or did I say that? Oh, you said it, thank God. You know, it's like, all of this was going on inside of me in that split second, right? But you can't carry much other stuff with you. You won't find a multi-millionaire handyman. You say jack of all trades, master of none. There's a lot of truth in that, right? How about this? Hobbies. Highly impactful people don't have a lot of hobbies. They just don't. Why? Because you can't have a bunch of hobbies and be an impactful person. It just doesn't exist. Well, you say I have to give up all my hobbies? It's up to you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to impact people. You don't have to have a positive bank account. You don't have to do anything. But what I'm saying is I want you to do the stuff you decided you could do at conference. So you're going to have to give up some hobbies for a while. What is a hobby worth versus the impacts you could have? And just think about it. It's seasonal. Just give it up for a season. It doesn't have to be forever. Just a season. Just a season. I mean, after you're extremely wealthy and have impacted lots of life, you could always reinsert yourself back into the magical world of puppetry. That's right. You know, you can always go back to it. That's right. You can always go back to it, right? You can you can always get back to that wiffle ball scholarship. You can always get back to that stuff. Like don't feel like it's forever. Yeah, I'll tell you what, two of my buddies are going to make some big moves, and I'm just going to put it out here. My buddy Eric Lardy and my buddy Mark Hutchison. They have decided to make some huge changes, sacrificing some stuff that used to be important to them, but now they're seeing this is so much more important. And I'm proud of both of them. But that's the people that you will see grow coming out of these events. People that make those sacrifices, give up stuff, and just for a while. The 3 years that I went from being broke as crap to becoming a millionaire here, I didn't have any hobbies. I didn't have any hobbies. My golf clubs, they stayed in the garage for 3 years. I didn't watch any football for 3 years. Is it worth it? Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, being broke was dope, but... How about this one? Could you one of their distractions, could you give up worry?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one right
Some of the things people that you waste time worrying, and then some of the things people worry about, just it's like, dude, you went and borrowed worry. Like they didn't have enough to worry about in their own life, so they went and borrowed worry from other people. I was talking to somebody and they were worried about it. I'm like, God, what you're worried about? I mean, I don't know how to say it. It's like that's like a bird worrying about an earthquake. It doesn't matter. Like, you can fly, you don't worry about earthquakes. Pretty basic, right? But stuff they're worried about is like, why are you worried about that? It makes no sense. Why worry? So maybe that's something you can let go. Maybe you've had a habit of worrying. Maybe you've been worried so long that you don't realize that you have a habit of worrying, but you could just let it go. Not worry for 6 months. I promise you, in 6 months, if you've given up worry for 6 months, and we get to NatCon, and you're like, I really want to be worried again, there'll be plenty of stuff to worry about then. I promise you. You're not going to be like, but I missed out on all that good worry in the in-between. No. There'll be tragedy after tragedy, disaster. There'll be tons of stuff to worry about in the future. But for 6 months, maybe we can give up worry. How about this? OPD. Could you give up OPD? What's OPD? Other people's drama. Other people's drama. I don't know about you, but like, being me is a lot of work. So I don't have time to worry about other people's drama. Did you hear what's going on with so-and-so? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you? Oh, who cares? I got time for that. I'm building my own life. I love everybody. I hope everybody chooses to do the right thing with their life. But at the end of the day, I'm building my life and my family's life. And if they make bad choices, that's on them. Does that make sense? I see it all the time, too. It's like consequence rescuing. You see parents do that. Kids make bad choices, and they rescue them from all the consequences all the time. So the parents don't get anything done with their life because they're constantly consequence rescuing. That's other people's drama. Anything that's not you can let it go. And we could keep naming stuff, but what could go on your list? How about this? The past. The past. Is the past a distraction? If you're thinking about it all the time, it is. That's right. What do we talk about on Saturday afternoon? About cows, right? What do cows do? They chew their what? Cud. Right? What did we learn? What did we distill from that lesson on Saturday? If you stop chewing your emotional cud, what eventually will you do? You'll crap it out. Yeah. So it's like, I don't want to have to keep thinking about it. Then stop thinking about it, and then you'll eventually crap it out. Everything will be cool, right? Well, can you let the past go? The past is a distraction. Thinking about the past. Thinking about the good old days. Thinking about the good old days. Oh, the good old days. The good old days weren't as good as you remember. Right. How do I know that? Because in the good old days, we didn't have GPS.
Right.
Yeah. Back when we used to run appointments, right? You had to print off a MapQuest. Yeah. Right? Or before that, this is how long I've been selling insurance, we would have this thing called an atlas. And you have to look up a street, and you go, C4. Yeah, C4. Then you have to look for the actual street. Yeah. Then you have to find how to get to C4 from F1. Yeah. That's right. The good old days weren't that great. Let it go, I always love it. Every once in a while you get around a group of agents, sales guys, and they're talking about, the big one, the sales they made, and they tell these glorious stories about, and they told me no for the 14th time. Then I reached down into my briefcase, and they tell these stories, right, of like... So when I encounter that, I always like to go and tell a lame story, but with the same exuberance. So I'll be like, oh yeah, reminds me. Back in the day, 2003, I was out there. I drove all the way out to that appointment, 4 hours. Knocked on the door, I could tell he was watching TV. So here's what I do. I sheepishly knock once, then turn tail and run. How about that? He's always kind of mystifies him, like, let go of the past. This is a distraction. It's just a distraction. All right? How about this? Being in the know on too many things. Oh, God, you got any of these people? It seems exhausting. Like, why would you want to be in the know on everything? We have the internet. To me, it's like, as soon as I figured out how Google works, I was like, awesome, I'm going to know nothing from now on. It's awesome. Anything you need to know, you can find out, right? So I don't need to know anything. But people that spend their time wanting to know, they're in the know on all these things that don't matter.
Right.
Can we let it go? I'm just giving examples in case you haven't thought of maybe that's something I'm doing and I need to put it down. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to give an exhaustive list. I'm just trying to spur the thinking to what are some things I could put down for a while, not for forever. How about this? Hemming and hawing.
All right.
Well, make a decision. Let's go. I just don't know. Just make a decision. Let's go. I'm going DM by NatCon. Make a decision. Let's go. I'm going to write 20,000 issue paid every month, no matter what, till NatCon. Let's go. Just pick something positive and go. Does that make sense?
That's right.
Sometimes we want to set a goal and then we spend, the next 3 weeks analyzing the goal, and by the time we know it, it's September, and it's like we missed all the mojo from NatCon or family reunion. So if you're like still haven't quite picked your target out, just as long as it's positive and forward moving, pick it out and go. You're going to have to adjust it anyway, because your plan is not going to work, and obstacles are going to come your way, and you have to adjust and overcome. So it doesn't matter if the plan is perfect. Does that make sense? It also doesn't matter if your schedule is perfect. These all fall under hemming and hawing. It's funny. I get, oh my God, like, I love it. I love it. I love you. I love you. But please stop sending me 3 tentative calendars that you're thinking about running. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. You do magic with Excel. The colors, amazing. It's a kaleidoscope of scheduling. I'm in awe of the work you put into it, but I love you. Can we just go? Can we just go?
That's right.
Let's just go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're going to have to adjust it anyway. So let's pick something and let's go. I'm not saying don't have a calendar. Do exactly what he said. But I'm saying don't think it to death. Does that make sense? Because I don't know about you, we're all not really that brilliant. Does that make sense?
That's right.
So let's just get an idea and attack it. And stick to it. All right? What's some other stuff we could leave behind? Denial.
All right.
You can't live in denial and move forward in a positive way. Does that make sense? And I'll see it, and I'm just like, please let go of where you think you're at. This picture they want to paint of where they're at. We can only build forward from the truth. Does that make sense? And I know it's hard. I see it in people where in the past they've done well and now they're not doing well, but they're trying to make everybody think they're still doing well, and they're just trying to build from that. It's not going to work. Let it go. Let it go. Start from where you are. Denial, it's one of those things, it wastes time. When I get pulled over, I don't bother denying because, I got pulled over recently. Holly's always pulling for me to get a speeding ticket because, I don't want to tell you what my record is. I've only had one. So, of course, if you're the Highway Patrol watching, this is all a joke. Well, that's why I was writing my talk while I was driving here and not typing it in my phone, because that could look like texting. What are you doing? I'm writing a talk, clearly. Texting, no. So Holly's always pulling for me to get, because Holly gets a ticket every time. She one time literally got a ticket for 41 and a 35. Wow. Yeah. So we get pulled over, and the officer comes to the window and he says, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, to be frank, it depends on how long you were following me. I didn't see you back there. Yeah. I'm not admitting anything. I'm just saying it could be a lot of things. Yeah. I don't want to guess something that you don't already know. Does that make sense? Right, exactly. Yeah. Of all the amendments, my favorite is the 5th.
That's right.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. So there's no sense in denying.
That's right.
Right? It's just a waste of time. Where you're at. You got yourself there. We can get you out, but not if we keep pretending. Does that make sense? Don't be more enamored with the appearance of success than actually succeeding. And when we're in denial, it's because we're enamored with that appearance of success. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, I've screwed up more stuff than you know. More stuff than you know. I mean, I'm an adult. And I recently put a bowl with a spoon in it in the microwave. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. I know now. I'm in the future with you, okay? I mean, people tell a story like that, people are like, oh, that was a bad idea. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not wondering if the giant hole in the microwave was just because God struck it because he didn't want me to microwave my food. I understand how it happened, but we all make mistakes.
That's right.
Let's just move forward from where we're at. Yeah. Let's stop trying to carry a facade with us. Let's stop trying to carry the past with us. Let's stop trying to carry 10,000 hobbies with us. Good Lord. Here's the thing. You make enough money, like I can pay somebody to be good at a hobby for me.
That's right.
Yeah. It's like, oh, no, he's actually playing for me. I'm no good at this, but I'm paying him to beat you. Yeah. Yeah. No, he bowls for me. Yeah, I just sit here and drink beer and watch you lose. That's what I do. I don't have the time to get good at it, you know. Yeah, exactly, right? So, all right. All right, number 2, I'm going to tag team on what Adam said about the 8 team steps. He said take them to another level. I agree. They work. They work. Now, I was at a meeting one time, and after the meeting, this guy comes up to me, and he's giving me his whole tale of woe. You know, oh, you just don't know how tough it is, and nobody wants to see me, and nobody wants to meet with me. I'm like, getting a pretty good idea why. Yeah. Have you used a mirror recently? It's called the law of attraction, not the law of whatever, I don't know. But anyways, I didn't say any of this. This stayed in my head. But what I did say was, I'll make you a deal right here, right now. I'll put you on salary immediately. But if you go on salary, I get to keep all your future commissions. And in order to stay on salary, it's going to be like a job. You're going to have to do certain things to keep getting that check. And those certain things are the 8 steps. So you got to do all 8 steps to keep getting this check. And here's exactly what he said back to me. He goes, well, if I do all 8 steps, you're going to make a lot of money on the commissions. So everybody gets it. That's what I'm saying. Even if he didn't get it, he gets it. The 8 steps work. So 100% with what Kat said. Where I want to go with it is I'm going to challenge you to double down on the core values too.
That's right.
Doubling down on the core values will take you to a new place. Think about this. Core value, excellence. If you and I truly go in on excellence, our lives change. Our lives change immediately. Why? Because excellence demands a higher level of performance.
That's right.
Think about this. If we're all in on excellence, it doesn't matter if we get sick for a week. We don't go, well, Andy's probably going to do a contest next month. I'll just wait till then. That's not excellence. Excellence isn't, well, I'm probably going to win, so I'm going to sandbag and wait for next month. That's not excellence. Does that make sense? I don't feel like recruiting this week. That's not excellence. Does that make sense? So can you see how the core values, if we double down on that, that will automatically guide us into a good place, that will take us where we want to go? So what are those core values? Which ones could you move a little more on? What move a little more on? Like I got a little more on, I got to move them. Does anybody have a crate? I'm moving a little more on. I will tell you, it's easier to move a little more on than a big moron. Yeah, that goes without saying. Facts be facts. Facts be facts, right? Think about like, all right, everybody grow up, seriously. We have serious stuff to cover. Enough. Think about the value of community. If we double down on community, what will we do? We'll realize the power of our example.
That's right.
See, if I could write 30,000, but I choose to write 15, I'm depriving our community of another positive example. Does that make sense? If I could double-digit recruit every month, but I don't, I'm depriving the community of another example, and I'm depriving the community of future leaders. Does that make sense? The future leaders are going to come from the people we recruit.
That's right.
None of us are amoebas, right? We're not going to like,
Right.
and then there was 2 Davies, right? God, that would be a lot to work. A shudder goes through the audience. Right? You're not going to turn into 2 new leaders.
Right.
We have to find them. So every week that you don't recruit, every week that I don't recruit, every week we don't bring somebody new in, we're depriving the alliance of a future leader. Think about the ripple of that effect. We could keep going through the core values, but the point is, if we double down on them, it's going to, like the 8 steps, it's going to guide us the right way. It's going to guide us and the alliance into a better spot. And just think about the last value. I do want to hit that one a little bit. What if we double down on gratitude? What if we double down on gratitude? What if we give a few more hugs to the bacterially sound people? I had a new lady cut my hair, and Holly's like, "You can go back?" And I was like, "Nope." And she's like, "Why not?" She kind of smells like her car's dirty. She's like, that's how big of a mess I am. So when you see me giving hugs, you know I'm trying to. I believe in community. You know what I'm saying? No, but think about gratitude. Can we double down on it? Has anybody ever died from too much gratitude? I mean, is there like a certain part where this too much gratitude leads to depression? No. Like your doctor's like, your gratitude levels are pretty high. Are your gratitude levels too high? Ask your doctor about complaining. Ask your doctor, is complaining right for you? Common side effects of complaining include loss of friends, loss of opportunity, people leaving when you enter a room. All right, let's get going. Number 3, beware of sliding into old habits. It's easy this week, right? Today I was so good. You wouldn't even believe it. I got up when I was supposed to. I read, even a little meditation, a little bit of gratitude going on in my heart. I was so well behaved today, like you wouldn't even believe it. I didn't get pulled over one time coming here. Yeah, I know, it's inspiring, I agree. We just came out of conference. Can I be this way in middle October? Does that make sense? The tendency we have as humans is to backslide. The tendency we have is to backslide. And that's okay. I mean, that's how we are. So we just have to be aware. Here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to let a slip turn into a slide. Does that make sense? You are going to slip. I have my next slip scheduled for next Tuesday. I scheduled mine. I like predictability. I want to know when I'm going to make giant mistakes. So I just put it on my calendar. No, I'm going to slip. I'm going to slip into an ungrateful state. I'm going to start complaining at one point about something, right? I'm going to slip on my reading. I'm going to slip. So what we've got to do as a team is help each other. How do we help each other? By example. See, if I slip and then I see Adam being grateful, I'm having fun with the camera people. I didn't plan on using that illustration as many times as I am going to from now on. Yeah. Slide to the left. Everybody clap your hands. We just can't let a slip turn into a big slide. Does that make sense? Because what happens is we lose all that time. The problem is, in order to keep moving forward, I can't just go up from here. I got to get all the way back to where I was. So let's not let slips turn into slides.
That's right.
Now, what happens? Triggers happen, right? Old associations come up, right? Anybody gotten a call from... It's funny, like you get out of conference and all of a sudden you get a call from people that you know are going to drag you down. They're going to pull you back down to the other level. They've given up on keeping up with the Joneses. Their philosophy moving forward is we're just going to pull the Joneses down to our level because it's less work, right? So they probably already called you. Have they been in contact? If not, they're going to be in contact. Don't worry. Yeah, if you're like, hey, nobody from my past that tries to drag me down is contacting me yet, don't worry, your call's coming. In fact, you may turn your phone back on when we leave here and be like, oh, Stephen was right. There they go. Yeah, so what else triggers it? A hard day, right? Let me tell you something. Anytime you're trying to accomplish something, adversity is going to come, right? My strategy with adversity is I like to just smack it right back in the face. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you get beat up by adversity. You know, I go on the attack. What else is going to happen? Well, just weird stuff's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's going to throw you off. And just know that that's coming. You know, it is. So just know it's coming. We just can't let that pull us off track. But just be aware, like, am I sliding back into an old behavior? Or am I staying true to what I said I was going to do? All right. You know, here's the other thing. It's when we keep our commitment to the future, that's what keeps us in better behavior today. When we slide, it's because we've stopped thinking about the future. Because if you think about it, any of our bad habits, we know they're bad habits. We know they don't lead where we want to go. The problem is we're not thinking about the future. When we think about the future, we go, yeah, I probably shouldn't do that. Yeah, I should do more of this. All right. Next point. Make your goals public. Make your goals public. Please make your goals public. So too many times, what we'd like to do is we like to make this little goal, and then we want to hide it. And then that way, if I hit it, I can go get it and be like, oh. See, it was my goal.
That's right.
Look, I accomplished my goal. But we want to hide it just in case we don't follow through, and then we'd be like, yeah. I don't need to set goals to feel value, okay?
That's right.
Every day achieve more, okay? I won't put a cap on me like a goal, but you guys can, that's fine, right? But if we hit it, we're going back for it, right? Don't be like that. Goals aren't meant to be hid. Here's the problem with a hidden private goal. A, you know you, I know me. If I don't make it public, if you don't make it public, we're not going to do jack crap about it. This just is what it is. B, remember we talked about community as a value? We can't inspire anybody with our goal. We can't inspire anybody with it because it's hidden. And if you only bring it out after you accomplish it and say, yeah, that was my goal for the month. We missed out on 30 days of inspiration, right? Now here's what I'll tell you, because I know what makes us want to put our goal in the closet and hide it. I know. It's fear. I understand. What if I don't hit it? What are they going to say about me? Well, let me tell you loud and clear. If they would say something negative about you because you worked hard and still missed your goal, let me tell you something. They don't matter.
That's right.
And actually, you know what it is? It's a little bit of cleaning up in your life when you get rid of those people. It's a little bit of getting rid of the weight. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's getting rid of the non-essential people in your life. You say people are non-essential. If they're dragging you down, you don't need them. Does that make sense? So if they would judge you, they don't matter. So who cares? In fact, it's a great way. I use goals for that reason. That way I can find out who doesn't matter. Does that make sense? If I set a goal and then I get judged, I'm like, okay. Let me go. You've been put on a list. Judge not unless ye is judging ye. It's in the subnotes. All right. Here's the other thing. When we remember the purpose of goals, it makes us less scared to make them public. Well, what is the purpose of a goal? Like, let's say my goal is to lose weight. Is the purpose of the goal the weight I lose? Is that the reward? Now, you might say, yes, of course, that's a reward. No, the reward is that I become the kind of person that can drop 15 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it is. I become a different person because of that. Make sense? So when you set goals for production, when you set goals for recruiting, when you set those goals, the real reward is not the people you recruit, it's not the business you write, it's not the money, it's none of that. It's not the recognition on the stage, it's none of it. I mean, those are all byproducts. The purpose of that goal, or the real reward of that goal, is you become somebody different. So we think about it like this. I set a goal, I miss it, but I'm still further ahead than I was. You still won. You still won. You see? Like when you make it public and you fall short, and that's fine, you still win. Because you became somebody different. Right. You became the kind of person that went from $10,000 a month production to $15,000, but you missed 20, that was your goal, but you became somebody different in the process. Does that make sense? That's right. You recruited every week this month and you ended up with one guy that won't return your phone calls. That's okay. The point is, you became somebody that recruits every week. You became somebody different in the process. When we remember that, it makes us a lot less susceptible to the fear of other people knowing our goals and what if we fall short. The point of goals is to keep stretching us on our journey to make us better people every day. And here's what I'll tell you, your family deserves the best you.
That's big.
Your family deserves the best you. I don't ever want Chandler to have to look outside our house for a role model of a male that sets goals and moves forward.
All right.
I don't want my daughter to wonder what a man that accomplishes things looks like.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So that's what drives me to set and work towards goals. It's the much bigger picture. It's so much more than the premium. It's so much more than the recognition. It's so much more than that. When you really get the totality of what goals do for you, it'll mess you up. And here's what I'll tell you about goals. Be crazy. Be wild with it. Go crazy. Why? Because your past doesn't matter. Your past doesn't matter. If you could truly, I say this to my people all the time. And so you guys, my team, you can probably quote me as we get going here. You have so much potential inside of you. If you could truly digest it, if you could truly digest the potential you got in you, you'd be able to sleep for 6 months. You'd be that excited about your future because it's the kind of potential you got. So moving forward, don't set wussy little goals. Go crazy. Go crazy. Stretch, right? You could be that next person in the alliance, that next inspiring example. Just set the goals to get you there. Now here's the other thing I'll tie onto this thing about goals as you're moving out of family reunion. Set goals centered around activity. Sometimes we set goals that are just so vague that they don't require us to do anything today. They don't require us to do anything today. I'm going to go DM by NatCon. I hear you. I hope you do. The only problem is likely you won't if that's the extent of it. Why? Because going DM by NatCon, I don't got to do nothing today. Yeah. Shoot, I'm going to call the fellas up. We're going to go appliance bowling, man. Huh? Oh, it is so much fun. It's so much fun that my children will never be allowed to do it. That's exactly how much fun appliance bowling is. In case you don't know what that is, that's where your buddy, his dad's a rock mason, so they have a big Ford ton truck with big sides. You go to the dump, you get appliances for free. You set them up at the end of a gravel road like bowling pins. Then everybody goes in like $50 and you buy like a $400 car. Right. And, well, you wear a motorcycle helmet for safety. And you go. Wow. See, I can do that today if my only goal is to go DM by NatCon. I don't got to do anything today. And that's just one idea of things I could do today. Like I have all kinds of ideas of stuff we could do today. It would be so much fun, right? So much more fun than making phone calls. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of hey, watch this with the fellas I grew up with. Yeah. Yeah. But you see what I'm saying? It's vague goals don't require us to do anything today. If all I'm going to do is I'm going to go DM by NatCon, and I do hear that a lot. I'm not picking on that goal, and if that's your goal, I'm glad that's your goal. It should be your goal. I mean, unless you're like an RM, don't try and go DM by NatCon like that. Just go in your office and turn the levels over because you got them upside down. It's like working my way to IBA. It's like, oh. Oh. Oh no. All right. But if your goal is to go DM by NatCon, set something you have to do this week. Does that make sense? Set an activity thing that has to be done this week. If your goal doesn't scream at you to do something today, there's not enough substance to it. Don't get me wrong, you need the overarching thing. You need the overarching thing. But then you have to set activity goals inside of that so that way you keep moving on the right path. Make sense? All right, last thing I'm going to talk about is intensity.
Okay.
Think about it like this. I love the story that, I can't remember her name in ABTF that told the story about running to the outfield instead of jogging. Anna Shelton? Anna Shelley. All right, Anna Shelley. I love that story. And it made me think of a lot of our journeys in the Alliance. Sometimes we're just jogging. Don't get me wrong, our calendar looks good, right? Don't get me wrong, we're at the meeting, we're at the hot spot. Don't get me wrong, we're turning in business every week even. Don't get me wrong, we're turning in a contract here or there for a new agent. But if we were really honest, are we just jogging? Are we just jogging? I love the story she told about running to the outfield. Here's what I don't want. And I'm talking to me, I'm not talking to you. If you want it to apply to you, then I'm talking to you. If you don't want it to apply to you, I'm just talking to me and the person that wants to apply. Well, you know how this works. If you don't know how it works, I'll give you Adam's cell phone. He'll explain it to you. Since apparently I'm a mess and he's not. According to many, a hot mess, according to the many notes I took on his talk. Little tip for the kids at home, always speak second. Well, I think you should go first. Good. No, if you don't want it to apply to you, don't have to apply it to you. But here's what I've decided. I've decided I'm not going to jog into NatCon. Now, it would be easy for me to jog. It'd be easy for Adam to jog. Why? We have amenities. I never understand it when broke people stay home. Broke blows my mind.
Okay.
I mean, like, it blows my mind. Like, staying in a crappy apartment watching somebody else's Netflix account. Like, I don't understand why you'd want to stay home.
That's right.
Right? Not you, other broke people. Easy. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Yeah. Go. Hey, but we don't have to worry. They're not watching this. Yeah, no, there's not a new season of TWC, so they're watching Netflix on somebody else's account.
What's that password?
Yeah. What's your password again? Actually, we're going to put Adam Katz's Netflix password up at the end of the. I knew one of my cousins was on my Netflix because he recently watched, and I was like, "Dale, I got my password again." No, but apply it to you if you would like. I've decided I'm not going to jog. I'm going to run. I'm going to run because here's the problem with jogging. Life wasted. Life wasted. If we jog into National Convention, if we just ease in, if we just write a little business every week, do a little recruiting here or there, hit my hot spot, we're doing positive things, but we're just jogging. Does it make sense? The only problem is where you get to NatCon, and 6 months of life will be gone. And you can't get a refund on that. You can't take it back and be like, yeah, I kind of really, pee-peed away my last 6 months. Editing. I'd like to get time back, You can't. It's gone. It's gone forever. So that's why I'm deciding, coming out of family reunion, I'm not jogging this next 6 months. Now, I'm not just going to trot. I'm not just going to enjoy the amenities I've got and just go, yeah, we'll see everybody at NatCon, Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to run. Mm-hmm. I'm going to run. Why? Because I can. Because I've got another level of intensity. Because I know another level of intensity from me, I know it's going to produce crazy things.
That's right.
I know it's going to inspire people.
That's right.
I know it's going to help get other people running. What gets people running? People running.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? That's why I don't see people jogging from like an emergency.
Right.
Right? They saw the people running, like, we got to run, right? There's no leisurely strolls from an emergency.
And figure out why you're running late.
So I'm going to run.
That's right.
I'm going to run. I'm going to find another level of intensity. I need you to come with me. I need you to find that another level of intensity, because here's what I know. I know fulfillment doesn't happen jogging. Fulfillment doesn't happen just doing just what we can do. Fulfillment happens when we are on a mission. Fulfillment happens when we're giving it our all. Fulfillment happens when we're pouring it on. Bring that intensity. I'm coming with you. Can't wait to see everybody on the road. Love y'all. Later.